Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. Now, this is regarding Thomas Lemar from Monaco. Now, the player that Arsenal were heavily linked with during the August window. Arsenal had been in discussions with Monaco, over making a potential move for Lemar. Arsenal had approached his representatives, been in discussions with his representatives, but currently Monaco were reluctant and were resisted to basically offload the player, due to the amount of money they received for the departure of their players. Plus, Lemar did admit early on in the August window that he did actually, want to make the move to the Premier League, and he did actually make this clear. He wanted to join Arsenal Football Club, but Arsenal in the process, Monaco had a price tag of around £80 million in August. Arsenal were unwilling to pay that £80 million, early on in the August window. Arsenal then saw two bids rejected for Lemar. And then after that, Arsene Wenger, had ended the interest. Then Liverpool had come into the equation, for Thomas Lemar as well, and Liverpool had two bids in the process rejected for Thomas Lemar as well in the current process, because obviously Liverpool still need to strengthen up in their team, and if Coutinho goes, you'll know they'll need a replacement and that for him. And plus Arsenal are eyeing out replacements now for Ozil and Sanchez that are coming to an end of their deals and looking like they are going to go, whether it be in January, whether it be in the summer. But obviously Arsenal would rather cash in, rather than let him go on a free transfer next summer. But Lemar situation, as I said, Arsenal right at the end of the window put £92 million in, but Arsenal didn't get a deal over the line, so a deal never materialised in the current process, and that would have been a club record fee if that would have gone right. But reportedly now the press are saying that Arsenal are going to re-show their interest in Lemar in the January transfer window, and it has suggested how Arsenal are not willing to pay as much as they offered right at the end of the window, which was around £92 million. But Monaco may not want to offload the player due to that. He's very good for Monaco. He's been good. This is his third season in process, but Monaco may only be persuaded to actually offload Lemar in January, especially if Arsenal or Liverpool had to come up with a staggering amount of money to offer Monaco to get the pursuit of Lemar. But the Monaco president did come out a while back and said he's likely to leave next summer, and he did say January is unlikely as well. But the president did say Lemar... about Lemar, Arsenal were the closest out of Arsenal and Liverpool. Arsenal were the closest because basically it was Arsenal's main priority side, because obviously Arsenal got Lacazette £52 million back in August as well, and he's done very well for them. But Lemar, as I said, since making his international debut for France in 2016, Lemar has become regular for the French national team as well after making his international debut in 2016. He's also ex-champ player, where he made 32 appearances, and he's represented France from the under-17 to the under-21 level as well. And he's a fantastic young age prospect as well as Thomas Lemar. He scored one goal this season so far in 10 appearances. And Monaco, to be quite fair to them, they won the La Ligue for the first time in nearly 2 decades last season, progressed well in the Champions League last season. And this season they're not doing so bad, considering that I think they generated nearly £300 million, for the departure of their players. They're sitting second in the league. In League One this season, Monaco have scored 35 goals, conceded 13. Ramadel Falcao is their top scorer with 13 goals as well. So Monaco are not having a bad season. They sit in second place, just behind Paris Saint-Germain as well. But as I said, Lemar is, Arsene Wenger, it was his main key target, because obviously Lemar can play throughout the centre. He can play on the wings as well. Can Thomas Lemar? His passing ability is good. His dribbling's very good as well. But potentially, he's been a Liverpool target. He has been Arsenal's main target, and reportedly Lemar is on Barcelona's agenda as well, because we know Barcelona have got quite a few targets on their radar. Obviously we know now, the main priority target's being Coutinho, but they've got alternatives, such as Ozil on their list, Griezmann's on the list, Lemar's on the list. There's been mentions of Dybala on the list as well. So Barcelona are weighing up options as well, in case they do fail with the pursuit of Philip Coutinho as well. But Lemar, yes, so could he says Arsenal are going to go for him in January. But as I said, they're identifying him as a good replacement for Alexis Sanchez, because we know Alexis Sanchez coming to an end of his deal with Arsenal Football Club. He's coming to an end of his deal with Arsenal Football Club, as we all know. He's not going to be signing a new deal. He did confirm the other day in the press, actually, that Paris Saint-Germain had reportedly approached Sanchez's representatives, because Sanchez had approached Paris Saint-Germain, quite a few times, during the August window. Sanchez reportedly, also was demanding a higher wage increase from Arsenal as well. I think he was demanding wages of like 400,000. There's been a lot of teams interested in the player in the Chile, and Sanchez made over a century appearances since he's been at Arsenal. This is his 4th season now in the process, with Arsenal Football Club's is Alexis Sanchez. But versatility is very, very good, very skillful, very, very good in the air, indeed. And Arsenal are going to have to eye out replacements because they did lose quite a few players back in August as well. Lost Chamberlain, lost Gibbs, lost quite a few players. Sorry about that. Arsenal Football Club as well in the current process. But yeah, I still think City emerged frontrunners to go on and get the current player. City may go for him in January, maybe pay £20-30 million, or they may wait until next summer when Sanchez obviously comes to an end of his contract and when he becomes a free transfer. But it did say Paris Saint-Germain are willing to pay £20-30 million for him in the January window as well. But I think, he's still keen on, reuniting with Pep Guardiola Sanchez. I think Pep Guardiola's keen on reuniting with Sanchez, after they're bonded and worked fantastically well together at Barcelona, as we all know. And, Arsenal, he's won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons with the club. And if he's to go to likes of Paris Saint-Germain or City, Sanchez will elevate to a high level, obviously potentially playing amongst better players, and he'll be winning soon. When with Arsenal, he's not going to be really doing this at this moment in time, especially with Wenger in charge. And their transfer policy, was poor in August, as well. And they won't be satisfied with that about this Arsenal Football Club, so they do need changes. But he's won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons with Arsenal. Very, very good journeys, Barcelona. As I said, his most successful season with Barcelona, 21 goals in his last season with Barcelona as well. Also had experience of being in Italy with underneath as well. Was with a play, was with Cola as well, and he just puts a lot of effort into the team. Does Alexis Sanchez? But yeah, he just demanded basically the main part of the narrative was that he wanted Champions League football. His first time in 2 decades, Arsenal have not had it, and they haven't got it now, as especially. And this is what basically Sanchez wants. A player of that caliber wants that, and you can understand where he's coming from, Sanchez as well. But don't forget, Arsenal could have cashed £50-60 million in, but due to that, Arsenal didn't get their main price tags. They didn't get Thomas Lemar, and that they couldn't find that replacement. This is why Arsenal didn't offload him, and City were disappointed about this. But what am I going to say now? But as I said, yeah, Arsenal could have cashed £50-60 million, but there were talks, as I said yesterday, about Raheem Sterling as part of the deal. Arsenal identified him as a possible potential swap deal, Sterling to Arsenal, Sanchez to City. Arsenal would have gone along with that, I think, but City were not willing to offload the player, and City were only keen on a cash-only deal for Alexis Sanchez. It's still confirmed that PSG are interested. Manchester City obviously are interested, but I still think Manchester City, without doubt, are the favourites to go on and get the current player. But also, too, Draxler's been mentioned, because he said Liverpool and Arsenal targets Lemar as well. And also now Draxler's another potential Arsenal target. The divide Draxler as a potential replacement, and that for Sanchez and that as well. Also, Liverpool have been interested in Julian Draxler as well, because it did confirm the other week that Liverpool had been in contact with Paris Saint-Germain over making possible potential move for Draxler. It's also confirmed that Arsenal have been in talks with Paris Saint-Germain as well. But I think it's actually suggested out in the press today that PSG are actually willing to offload. PSG are willing to offload Julian Draxler, because obviously he served his 2 requirements at Paris Saint-Germain, because he's not going to be guaranteed first-team football week in, week out. It's Julian Draxler, considering, the amount of money that PSG invested in the August window. They invested a lot of money, on Mbappe and on Neymar, did Paris Saint-Germain as well in the current process. Julian Draxler has got a 4-year deal with Paris Saint-Germain, don't forget. Paris Saint-Germain, don't forget, I've only had him since January 2017, because PSG paid £42 million for him from Wolfsburg as well. So got a lot of experience of being in Germany as Julian Draxler, and as I said, he's not going to be guaranteed first-team football week in, week out, and a player of that calibre and a young player like that wants to be guaranteed first-team football week in, week out, and it would be good to see him experience the Premier League and raising up the ranks fantastically well with Schalke. Did Draxler, very, very well, made 171 appearances, scored 30 goals, he did very, very well, did very, very well also with Wolfsburg, and was, captain of the Confederations Cup, and he was voted the best player in the Confederations Cup. Also as part of the Germany squad who won the 2014 FIFA World Cup as well, was Julian Draxler, in the current process. But he's good with both feet, he's tenacious, he's compassive, very, very good in the air indeed. But yeah, Liverpool and Arsenal have also been interested in him as well, because Liverpool could actually identify Julian Jackson as a fantastic replacement, for Coutinho. If Coutinho is actually if Coutinho is to leave Liverpool Football Club, in the January window as well. But saying about Lemar, yes, he's still potentially a Barcelona target as well, because Barcelona have been interested in him as well. And we know Barcelona, as we all know, have got quite a few a few targets on their agenda. Barcelona, I think Coutinho's still the main target. We know Ozil's now on their agenda. We know Barcelona are weighing up other options now. Potentially Mesut Ozil, he's on Barcelona's agenda. As I said. But Mesut Ozil, has been linked with a move to Old Trafford, because he reportedly told teammates 4 or 5 weeks ago that he did actually want to join Manchester United. It come out in the press the other day that he reportedly turned down Fenerbahce, because he said he could end up at Manchester United. Mesut Ozil, and reportedly, Ozil is demanding a higher wage increase of over £300,000 a week. Barcelona may be prepared to pay this. Also been demanding a higher wage increase from Arsenal as well. It has confirmed Ozil's agent's been in discussions with Barcelona. He's confirmed Mesut Ozil is also, preparing to have talks over potentially making a move to Barcelona as well. Arsene Wenger has suggested outright he has not agreed to join Barcelona, but he did say that Ozil could leave in the January transfer window as well. But it did say in the press the other day that reportedly Ozil had agreed a contract to join Barcelona, which was reportedly a 3.5-year deal. And it did say he actually agreed to join Barcelona, and these reports were stemming from Spain. It did say Ozil is keen on actually, staying in the Premier League the other day. In the press as well, but it did say Lionel Messi did actually come out and say he would prefer Coutinho over Mesut Ozil at Barcelona. Did Messi made this clear, and yeah, but he said the other week in the press actually, that Ozil was reportedly demanding to wear Jack Wilshere's number 10 shirt if he's actually potentially to sign, a new deal with Arsenal Football Club. It hasn't materialised. The contract talks have currently stalled, as we all know. So we know Arsenal are nowhere near in the process of securing him a new deal, as we all know. And I'd love him at Manchester United. He's got a record of assists. He's a fantastic playmaker. He's got fantastic sprints as Mesut Ozil. Can create chances, can provide assists. And Jose Mourinho's keen on reuniting, with Mesut Ozil. They were fantastic together at Real Madrid as well. Mesut Ozil and Jose Mourinho, as I said, also got experience of being in Germany as well as Mesut Ozil, the World Cup winner. Arsenal paid £42 million for him from Real Madrid back in 2013. And, if he does go to a bigger team, he'll elevate to a higher level, be winning silverware. Even if he come to Manchester United, he'd be winning silverware and stuff in a bigger club. If he went to Barcelona, he'd be winning silverware. But with Arsenal Football Club at the moment, he's currently not going to be currently doing this, and he's won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons with Arsenal. Well, this is 5th season now. In the process, he's Mesut Ozil's. But as I said, if he goes to a different team, a team can offer him better wages, because Arsenal, I don't think, are willing to pay what he's been demanding from Arsenal as well. But he's demanding £300,000 a week. He's demanding that he wants this Mesut Ozil. But it's not Barcelona's main target. It's Barcelona's main priority target is still Philippe Coutinho. In my current opinion. Well, in my current opinion, it's still Philippe Coutinho in the current process. But as I said, if they do fail with the pursuit of Coutinho, Barcelona, I think, they're weighing up other options. And if they do get Ozil, they won't really bother with Philippe Coutinho. And then Coutinho basically, will end up then staying at Liverpool Football Club. And we know potentially, we heard in the press the other week, about Paulo Dybala as well. He come out and said, Paulo Dybala, who actually, joined Palmeiras in 2012, another player who's got experience of being in Italy as well. He joined Juventus in 2015, so this is his 3rd season now, in the process with Juventus' Paulo Dybala, and he's potentially another Barcelona target as well. He signed a new deal with Juventus back in. He signed a new deal with Juventus back in April as well. Did Paulo Dubai, but he has strong connections with Paul Pogba. You know, he's in regular contact with Paul Pogba as well. And Paulo Dybala did admit this could be his last season with Juventus as well in the current process. And he's done very, very well since he's been at Juventus, because Juventus in the last couple of years lost some key players. You know, lost Vidal, lost Benucci, you know, lost Dani Alves. You know, we know Paul Pogba as well. We paid £89 million for Paul Pogba as well. And we did actually have him before Juventus, but it did say if he's actually to leave Juventus, Paulo Dybala, that Man United and Ed Woodward are planning to put a staggering £155 million in, which would be a club record fee for Paulo Dybala as well. And in his first season, Juventus won the league and a cup double in his first season. Well, he did admit he does miss Paul Pogba and he does miss Dani Alves as well. But good, strong, quick, good in the air, versatility, as I said, very, very good. Can play as attacking mid, you know, can play as a forward as well, and he looked good, you know, especially, you know, he looked good in the mix with the likes of in the midfield Pogba and, you know, Matic, and, you know, if he was in the front line, he'd look good alongside Martial and Rashford. He'd look absolutely fantastic, would Paulo Dybala as well. But potentially there were talks back in September that Man United were interested in him as well, but potentially, yeah, he has been a Barcelona target, but as I said, Juventus may not be willing to offload the player, considering, you know, they've lost quite a few players in the last couple of years, as I said. But yeah, there were talks about that the other day in the press as well, and, you know, with the Antoine Griezmann situation as well, as we know about Griezmann, basically that he's potentially another Barcelona type, because reports were coming out the other day in the press that reportedly he had agreed a deal in principle to actually, the reports from France that he had agreed a deal in principle to join Barcelona and Antoine Griezmann. We know that he's been Manchester United's one of our main priority targets. Jose Mourinho missed out, you know, on quite a few targets, you know, back in the August window, you know, missed out on quite a few plays, which was disappointing. You know, Mourinho spent 300 million now, you know, in three transfer windows. He's got a 3-year contract. In his second year of his 3-year contract is Mourinho, but he's still looking to invest into the team a little bit more, because he says we have to sell before we can buy, as that was made clear a couple of weeks ago. But mentioned about Griezmann, Man United have approached his representatives. He was our main target. He did estimate 6 out of 10 he was coming, but due to Atletico Madrid's transfer ban, Manchester United, you know, never got a deal over the line, you know, for Antoine Griezmann. Still in the contract to 2022, I think. You know, he signed this deal back in June. But Griezmann, I'd love him at Manchester United, and he did regret the decision that he did not come. He said the Manchester United move is still a possibility, and hasn't been his best this season. By all means, as Antoine Griezmann, you know, in the current process, hasn't been his best this season by all means. Hasn't been his best this season by all means as Griezmann, but very good, efficient finisher, very, very clinical, good at leading the lines, as I said, Griezmann. His versatility as well, don't forget, he's very, very good indeed, is Griezmann's as well. You know, very, very good in Euro 2016, best player of the tournament, very good for France, you know. Very, very, you know, has a fantastic friendship with Paul Pogba, and he complement the likes of Pogba and Lukaku and Rashford and Martial, and that would Griezmann. It did say Man United potentially eyeing him up potentially as a replacement for Mkhitaryan, so he did say if we do get Griezmann, we could actually put him in that number 10 position. Griezmann, we've still got number 7 vacant, as we all currently know in the current process. But as I said, you know, Griezmann, I think, has had discussions, you know, with Diego Simeone that this potentially is looking likely this could be his last season with Atletico Madrid. This is his 4th season in the process with Atletico Madrid. He's Griezmann's as well, but obviously Barcelona are eyeing Griezmann out, you know, thinking that if we get Griezmann, he'd complement the likes of Messi and Suarez. He'd look good alongside Messi and Suarez. Would Griezmann, but I don't think he will go to Barcelona. Well, it did say he had agreed a deal in principle to join Barcelona. I still think he could potentially still possibly make the move to Manchester United. It is possible, because it would be good. He could still go to Barcelona, I don't know, but it'd be good to come and see him experience the Premier League, because he's got so much experience of being in Spain. He's used to playing in Spain now, so I'd love him to come and experience something new in the English Premier League. It would be good for the English Premier League, you know, for Griezmann to come, but we'll see what happens. But potentially that's another Barcelona target as well, and Barcelona have quite a few, you know, players on their agenda as well in the current process. But as I said, the main part of this video, as I'm saying to you guys now, is about Thomas Lemar. Reportedly, Arsenal are going to re-show their interest. Reportedly, I think they're going to have some negotiations in January because Arsenal had been in talks with Monaco during August. And he's become regular, for the French national side. Lemar's represented France at the under-17 to the under-21 level as well. And as I said, he's become regular in the French national side, but he is suggesting out basically that Arsenal do need to improve the transfer policy in the January window. They're identifying replacements for Sanchez and Ozil and that as well, our Arsenal Football Club. But as I said, Lemar did want to make the move to the Emirates, but he didn't make the move because Monaco were not willing to offload the player. Arsenal had 2 bids rejected for him. Liverpool had 2 bids rejected for Thomas Lemar as well, but he can play on both flanks. He can play through the centre as well. So Lemar's versatility is very, very good indeed. But he has said Arsenal are not prepared to pay as much as the £92 million they're offered on deadline day as well. For the current player, but Arsenal, could tell you that they were disappointed that they did miss out on Thomas Lemar, because if they would have got Thomas Lemar, Arsenal and that, they would have offloaded Sanchez for £50-60 million probably. But Arsenal couldn't find that replacement, and that's why Sanchez never left, from Arsenal's perspective. But I think City could return in January. City may still wait until next summer, to get Sanchez on a free. But there's still teams like Paris Saint-Germain that could make a move for him in January as well. Sanchez. So anyway, that's mainly everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe. As always, take it easy, guys, and I'll see you guys all later on. Bye.